Hello, angels. This tarot reading will tell you what you need to give yourself more credit for. All you need to do to get your reading is pick one of these piles, pile 1 or pile 2, then go in the description or the comments below to click on your corresponding timestamp. Pause if you need more time to pick. Pile number 1, let's see what cards I pulled for you guys. So first I have the 9 of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the 7 of Coins. These are amazing cards. So first I want to get started with the 9 of Cups. So I feel like a lot of you guys have been through stages, or maybe you're currently in this stage in your life where you haven't had a lot of money, or haven't like had that many friends, or haven't just had like a huge abundance of certain things in your life, if you know what I mean. But despite that, you like appreciated what you did have. You expressed gratitude for like the small things that you did have in your life, and you also just felt content overall. And I feel like this is a really good trait that not a lot of people have. Like, even if you don't have much, you know how to be grateful and express contentment. And by having this kind of attitude, you actually tell the universe to bring like more abundance into your life, because when you express gratitude for something, the universe basically rewards you with more stuff, if that makes any sense. I'm also getting with this card that there's also like a sense of balance in your life as well. Even if there might be periods in your life where you are experiencing like a lot of imbalance, but at the same time with your mental state, you kind of know how to like bring yourself more back into alignment and just ground yourself, if that makes any sense. So let's move on to the other cards. So with the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands, these are both, the wands talk about fire, which represents things like passion. And I feel like your passion is something that's very important to you. Right now, for some of you guys, you might be doing your passion as like a side hobby while you work on like your main career. But that's completely okay. I feel like a lot of you guys are really passionate about what you do. And I'm actually seeing that you're also someone who's very open to having like new beginnings as well, and you get inspired very easily. I'm seeing that whenever you see other people like make art or just do anything, or like make music, or like whatever your passion is, whenever you see other people doing your passion, instead of like getting jealous, you usually feel more inspired to better yourself, which is like an amazing energy to have. And another thing I'm getting, like along with being inspired easily, is that after you get inspired, you like continue having that kind of energy for a long time, and you continue working hard on your goals. Like, you know how people like initially they start habits, like for example, let's take the New Year's resolutions, for example. I can't speak, but you know how people like at the beginning of the year they start like a resolution and they're like really hyped about it, they're really excited, but then as like the months or the even days sometimes go on, they kind of lose that initial motivation. I'm seeing that you guys aren't really like that. You know how to like work hard towards your goals and stay committed even when you're not like feeling the absolute best or feeling like the most inspired. Like, you know how to like really hold yourself accountable towards your long-term goals. And in general, I'm also seeing that you really like are good at looking at the bigger picture as well in life. You don't get too caught up in like the really small details. I'm feeling that a lot of you guys, maybe not everyone in this pile, but a lot of you guys have this kind of attitude where you're like, if this thing that went wrong isn't gonna bother me like a year from now, why should I even worry about it that much, if that makes any sense? Or if you don't have that kind of attitude, the ones that pick this pile that don't have this attitude, try to adopt this attitude more, because I feel like it'll help you out a lot. And that's pretty much all the messages that I got for you. Thank you so much for watching this reading. Please subscribe and like if it resonated. By the way, if you're interested in a private reading with me, that's going to be more one-on-one, I have a link to that in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Thank you. Pile number 2, let's see what cards I put for you guys. So first I have the Strength, the Moon, the Three of Swords, and the Devil. The Devil isn't a bad thing in this case, and I'll explain what it means in a sec. But first, let me talk about the Strength card. So with the Strength card, I'm getting that you have been through a lot in life. Maybe you've had people be mean to you and use you, people that you considered very close to you. Or maybe you had like certain life events happen to you that really pushed you around and prevented you from like living the life that you wanted. But despite that, I'm getting that you're like a very kind person and you didn't let that get to you too much. Like, you're still here and you're still working really hard towards what you want. In general, with this card, I'm also getting that you're not someone who had a lot of things handed to you in life. You had to work like really hard for pretty much everything, and this includes things like, you know, your grades in school and money wise as well. So like, you didn't have a lot of stuff handed to you. You worked really hard, and that's something that you should give yourself more credit for. Moving on to the next two cards, I want to talk about the moon first. So the moon talks about like being in touch with your feminine side. So regardless of your gender, I'm seeing that you are very in touch with your feminine side. And by the way, by feminine side, I don't necessarily mean things like makeup or feminine clothes, though it could also mean that. I'm more talking about like having an energy that's kind of more like going with the flow and just a little more passive and more responsive, if that makes any sense, in terms of as opposed to like being more action oriented. I hope I'm making sense here. If I'm not, try to just look up like the feminine versus masculine energy on Google or something, and like you'll see a bunch of resources that might be able to explain it better. Yeah, another message that's associated with this card, it is like being in touch with your intuition. So I'm getting that a lot of you guys are really in touch with your intuition. If you're currently not, then I'm seeing for a lot of you guys that pick this pile, you'll have your intuition develop like a lot more in the next few years if you have more of like an open mind to it and you're just open to developing it more. Because I know like not everyone even wants to develop their intuition, so if you are open to developing it, just like let the universe know. Another message that kind of associated with this card that also goes along with the Three of Swords is that you're also someone who's very in tune with your emotions. Like, you allow yourself to really experience your emotions, even if they're like extreme emotions and you end up like crying and stuff. You're not gonna be someone who tries to suppress them for like a really long time until you end up exploding. Like, no, when you feel emotions, you allow yourself to feel them and express them, and that's something that's really healthy as well, like that you do. And this kind of goes both ways. Like, you allow yourself to experience like deep sadness, but you also allow yourself to experience like extreme joy, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it goes along with both ways. Now let me talk about the Devil card. So with this card, I'm getting like a couple different messages that might resonate for you. The first message that I got for this card is that you are a very authentic person. You're not someone who like lies a lot. You are just very truthful about who you are and what you want in life. You're not gonna like try to dim your light to fit in, if that makes any sense. With this card, it also talks about like living authentically and, you know, just being yourself no matter what anyone else says. So like, I'm getting that some of you guys have ideas or like lifestyles or just something that's more on the unconventional side, and society doesn't really like consider it the norm. But I'm seeing that you guys aren't gonna really like change yourself or like change how you live or like anything about yourself to fit into what someone else's ideal of a perfect person or a perfect life is. Yeah, so those are pretty much all the messages that I got for you. If the reading resonated, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you're interested in getting a one-on-one reading with me, I have a link to that in the description below. Thank you so much.